offside.
Welcome back to another No Offsides weekly update. This week, our main focus is PIHA, Professional Inline Hockey Association. Most of the divisions in PIHA, from minor, semi-pro, and pro, are wrapping up, if not entering playoffs today as I record. So our focus today is just on the regular season wrap-up of all the divisions. So this one's going to be longer than the last weekly update, which I'm sure you will be just fine with. And so, let's start off with PIHA minor division. All right, we got 5 divisions. We got Metropolitan, we have Atlantic, we have Keystone, we have Southeast, and we have the Rocky Mountain East and West. Rocky Mountain is either going to be East and West in these divisions, or they're going to be North and South. But, if we start off here in the Metropolitan division, and actually, before I even do that, I am not 100% sure going into this what most divisions' rules are for playoffs. I can only imagine that most of them are pretty similar, where top 4 make the playoffs, and anyone under the 4 seed is left out. But do not quote me on that. So, starting off with Metropolitan Division, you have, you have 5 teams in this division. The number 1 seed is the Mach 1 Mustache. They ended up in the 1 seed with 43 points, followed by the Champion Impact with 42 points. Right there, this pilot comes down to snagging those points in regulation, because if not, then you lose a point in a overtime win or a shootout win. And you lose even more points in a shootout or overtime loss. So you want to win these games in regulation, because that's 3 points for you. Overtime win and overtime and a shootout win is 2 points, right? So every point matters. And so right here you have Mach 1 Mustache coming out with several points here within the 5 games, whether they won the 2 in overtime or lost in overtime. So, and it mattered, because that puts them above Champion Impact here. Coming in 3rd place is the Suffolk Sting with 34 points. These 3 teams seem to, they are, I don't want to say that all 3 of them are the favorites, but, obviously you always look at the 1 seed and you go, oh yeah, the 1 seed's usually the favorite. I don't know about this division. It's so close. You look at the goal differential, everyone's within between 1 or 3 points, 1 or 3 goal diff within each other. The points, yeah, sure, the Suffolk Sting are, in 3rd place, but that's the team that went to nationals last year. So, we'll see how this division plays out. And then you have the 4 seed in the Empire State LaBeta Legends Gold. Now, you're going to see a theme here throughout minor and semi-pro. We got a kind of a branding going on here, which is nice to see. We got a lot of Empire State LaBeta Legends teams coming out of the Northeast. Moving down to the Atlantic Division, you have yet another Empire State LaBeta Legends team. This is the black team. They are clearly in control in this division. But we'll see what happens here, because they're plus 69 goal diff. They almost completed the perfect season with 1 overtime loss. They 58 points, right? Then followed by the Champion Trash Pandas with 36 points. And then you have your New Jersey Jagaloons, followed by your Champion Purple Pandas. You look at this and you say, okay, well, there seems to be a clearly dominant team. We do not know what the schedule was here. We do not know if there was cross-play, if they were just playing each other within their division. We don't know. But, yeah. So it seems like after the 1 and 2 seed, it seems like, we should clearly see these, Empire State LaBeta Legends Black and Champion Trash Pandas going at it in the finals for the Atlantic Division. But my theme is always going to be the underdog story, right? The upset. You love to see an upset. You love to see good hockey. So, we'll see what happens here in this division. But moving down to the Keystone Division, this division is really tight. You know, you have from the 5th place team all the way up to the 1st place team, it is a 6-point difference. So if the inline 309 Stingrays did not make the playoffs, it's unfortunate, but it happens, right? But your number 1 seed here is the Pottstown Rink Rat Iron Knights. They come in with 35 points. Marple Lebeda Gladiators, 1 point under them in 2nd place. Both positive in the goal differential column. It seems like the Gladiators like to sit in the box with their 40 PIMs, but the Iron Knights really are not far behind them. And actually, this whole division just screams penalty minutes, as did the one before. I didn't even recognize that, but yeah, it just seems like we just got PIMs like crazy in the Northeast. But, followed by, in 3rd place, you have the Scream with 31 points plus 2 goal diff, and the Steel City Shockwave, who pretty much came out 500 in this division with 31 points and a minus 2 goal diff. So, I mean, this division is anyone's in my eyes. It's so close that, it doesn't seem like we have a clear-cut winner here that, this is division to watch. I'm very interested to see who comes out of this one for nationals, right? So, moving down to the Southeast Division, we have 5 teams in this division as well. Sitting at top is the Apex Tidal Wave Mops, coming out with 47 points. Clear. I mean, when they win very decisive usually. You have a plus 43 goal diff, followed by the champion Asheville Aces, which 2nd place with 43 points, 4 points behind, and plus 27 goal diff, followed by the Nashville team, Hendersonville Broadway Blades, coming in 3rd with 36 points and a goal diff of plus 16. And in 4th place at the cutoff for playoffs is Jacksonville Citrus Kings, and can't sleep on them. But yeah, I mean, if you want to judge a book by its cover, go ahead, judge them all you want. But still, I mean, if you've ever played against a Citrus Kings team, you're in for a very scrappy matchup, right? So those are your 4 teams. The Atlanta Phantoms do not make it to playoffs at 8 points. But another division that should be, I wouldn't say a bloodbath, but it should be quite a battle going into it at the end of the month. Moving over to the Rocky Mountain East and West Division, you have the Falcon Vikings sitting in 1st. Now, these 2 divisions have not finished up. Some teams have, some teams haven't. But overall, they have plenty of time. The Nationals, the championship weekend is in their backyard, so really they don't need a rush to finish up and get their travels together and everything like that, and make sure guys can get time off. It's in their backyard, so they can play right up to the weekend and be fine with it. So you have the Falcon Vikings in 1st in this Eastern Division, Eastern Conference side of the mountain. And so followed by the Lambs Grove Leaf Rays in 2nd place. You're talking a 3-point swing here. So these 2 teams seem to be, if we're looking at stats here, we're, they the 2 favorites in the division, I want to say, that should make it to their championship game. But, there are still plenty of games to be played here with 4 games. The Falcon Vikings have 4 games in hand, and the Grove Leaf Rays only have 2. So we'll see what comes of this division as, Monument Thunder have 4 games left. They are in 3rd with 23 points, and the Denver Stallions with 17 points. Right. And so down in the Rocky Mountain West minor division, you have in 1st at the moment with a game in hand over Mile High Maven Tugboats. They're tied with 42 points. Right. They have almost identical records, but the Tugboats have 2 losses, so that kind of puts them 2 regular losses. So and 1 game more played. We'll see. I mean, 3 games to 4 games, anything can happen here. These two are clearly the top of their division. These two should clearly play each other in their little conference final for the Mountain West, followed by the Manitou Vikings with 19 points, Golden Fire 12, and the Colorado Gringos. Even though they have 8 games left, I don't think they have a shot. But we've seen miracles happen before. I mean, you have 2 points, 26 points. It can still happen. They just have to jump the Golden Fire if we're on the theme of top 4 make playoffs. That's it. So now, jumping over to the semi-pro division, a lot of good hockey players in this division. A lot of good teams, a lot of staple teams, a lot of growth in this division. Right. So once again, 5 divisions: Metropolitan Atlantic, Keystone Southeast, Rocky Mountain North, and Rocky Mountain South. All right. So we look at this. We start with the Metropolitan Division, right? This division seems to be pretty stacked with players, pretty stacked with, whoever comes out of this could be the favorite going into nationals for winning the semi-pro division. Right, so you have the Long Island Empire Snipers on top by a point with 48 plus 35. You have the Suffolk Sting here with 47 points plus 39. Yeah, I mean, any of these two can take it, but I mean, you still can't count out East Coast Rebellion here with 31 points. Then you have Champion Impact, who, no matter where they go, they seem to pull out wins and championships. So I'm not counting on anyone in this division, even though you have your Suffolk Sting that is a staple to PIHA. You have your Empire Snipers, which this is a staple just to roller hockey as in most recent years. So, and we're not even talking rosters here. I'm not even analyzing rosters today. So this division should be fireworks. All right. In the Atlantic Division, you have 4 teams, right? So in first place in this division just seems to be, if there are no crossovers, they just seem to be kicking the living crap out of each other. That anyone can win this division, right? Because you have Empire State Beta Legends are essentially 500 with 30 points. The Champion Trash Pandas, and this Champion Trash Pandas team is the one that moved up from minor last year, that after winning the nationals for minor, and they're in second place, and they're only in second place by a point. This, like I said, this division is kicking the crap out of each other. There is no clear front-running winner here. Yeah, sure, you can sit there and say, like, oh, those first 2 place teams are 500 essentially, and the other 2 are not. But you're talking 3 loss difference here. The third place team, yeah, sure, 6 points, but that's only 2 wins, right? So there's a ton of hockey to be played here for playoffs, and it's going to be interesting who comes out on top here, because there's not a clear-cut strong team. I wouldn't say strong team, but I would say clear-cut dominant team in this division. So it's, in the Keystone Division, you have the Marple Beta Gladiators sitting at top of 46 points, plus 40. And you have the Propel MG sitting in second place, 3 points behind with 43 points. So you're talking about a one win difference there. Fusion Blizzard, at 42 points, right? So once again, you have 3 solid teams in this division. and then the record and points kind of drop off. Whereas in other divisions, it's pretty balanced. But so I mean, like I said, we're looking at 3 teams that could potentially take home the Keystone Division and go to nationals, right? Another division to keep your eye on. Yeah, I mean, we know Propel MG from playing Pro Division and stuff like that. So, and Marple Gladiators have kind of been around for quite some time now too. So, I'd have to dissect rosters here to give my opinion on this division, but I'm not. That's not today. So, Southeast Division. This division is very top. There's one clear team here that should take it, and they've been the favorite all season. And really, the only thing that stood in their way has been morning games. Kind of funny thing though, but we're looking at the Raleigh Tidal Wave Mops here in first place with 50 points, right? Plus 58 goal diff. Everyone else is negative goal diff. Everyone else is sub 500. You have the Florida Citrus Kings, which I am still not counting them out because they are, as I've said before, they are scrappy. They're usually a quick young team. You need to control them in order to win games, because if you let them get out of hand, they will just blow by you. Then you have the Nashville Broadway Blades. I don't think the record here says much for that team. That is still a solid team, solid goaltending. And you're in this division alone, you're talking a lot of traveling for individuals. So, we'll see what rosters get brought for this division in order to see who comes home with the Southeast Championship. Right. And then the fourth place, you have Alina Lobeta Phantoms at 15 points, minus 35. We've seen them pull off some great wins. We've seen them lose. It's just, one of those things where depends on what roster they bring. Right. So, down to the Rocky Mountain Division. Still not done yet. Couple teams are. Let's start with the North. Mile High Blizzard, team that has been, I believe, leading this division for a couple years now. Still got 4 games in hand. They have 2 games in hand over the Littleton Fire. 4 games left, 37 points. And, we got the Littleton Fire in second. I'm not even going to sit there and say that I'm going to perfect this enunciation, but Des Moines Leaf Ray 7. I gave it a try, all right, guys? So, they are in third with 17 points. It seems like this is probably going to be the standings, but I don't see much movement happening in this division, as Black Forest Thunder come in fourth in this division at the moment until they wrap up their division over the next couple weeks. Rocky Mountain South, you have 2 teams that are done, right? But you have teams with 4 games left. So, that's 12 points on the table for the Front Range Thunder sitting in third. Arizona Yotes, they've locked up the first seed there at 14-3-3 plus 41. The Arvada Fire have not locked down the 2 seed because there are still 12 points on the table for the Thunder, who could jump them. The goal difference they're both positive. If you look at it just from face value, you could potentially say that the Front Range Thunder are more than likely going to jump them, because they also, if there's no crossover games and they play their Royals 4 games left in the season, you can make assumptions, right? So there could be some movement in this division. We'll keep an eye on it as we now jump over to the Pro Division. And so in the Pro Division for PIHA, you have some new additions of teams. The East has already finished, but the West is still finishing out their final 4 to 6 games, right? So looking at the East, you have your staple team, the Suffolk Sting, right? That has been the staple team of the Northeast in PIHA for years now. So they land in first, but not by much. And they have the new squad of the Michigan Fury. coming into the East Division and taking it by storm and ending up in second place, right? You have a 2-point difference. You have goal diff. I mean, the Suffolk Sting obviously dominating the goal diff, but Michigan Fury sitting there in second place. Pittsburgh Inferno in third, and then the Few in fourth, and then you have the other Sting team in fifth, and then the Marple Beta Gladiators in sixth. So a 6-team division. I'm gonna just go with it's a 14 playoff. I don't know if there's a play-in games or at whatnot, but if it is a 14 playoff, looking at these standings, we would have a rematch of last year's finals to go to Colorado Springs, and that would be the Suffolk Sting versus the Few. That game was insane, best of 3 series, going to overtime, 1-goal games, physical, right? So we should it's probably going to happen again where it's going to be quite the matchup. And then you have the Michigan Fury, which should be facing off against the Pittsburgh Inferno as the 2v3 matchup. Another yet going to be a crazy matchup. This division alone is insane for the matchups, and looking at rosters and stuff like that. It's your big names. I mean, it's your big pro names. They're all sprinkled in on all these teams. It is going to be really good hockey. So, but when we jump over to the western side of the pro division of PIHA, we have new top dogs in here that weren't necessarily there last year for name wise, right? Your Demon Dogs and your Colorado Springs Thunder were kind of your top 2 teams in this division last year and prior years. But now you have the Naples Beta Chaos and the Arizona Conix Outcast coming in here as new blood and really taking it by storm. And no pun intended, really here, but just coming in and just putting a beating on some of these teams. You have the Naples Beta Chaos, which is a Florida team playing in the Western Conference, which is awesome to see. Awesome to see that, I've watched a lot of these games out west because they're live streamed. But this Naples team is a force to be reckoned with, and it should be favorited for the Western side for nationals. But I'm not counting out Arizona Conix Outcast and the Denver Demon Dogs. I'm not counting out any of them because they've all been there. There's a ton of talent spread throughout all these rosters as well. But just looking at the score lines and just following Chaos, and plus 68 goal diff, 50 points. The Arizona Conix Outcast plus 46, 48 points. I mean, I think it was a shock to the West. I really do. Especially the names that got dragged in on these teams. We're looking at some solid playoff matchups. Now, you still have some time left. There's 4. I mean, Colorado Stallions in 5th place have 2 games left, right? So you're talking about 6 points. If they win out and either Demon Dogs and Thunder do not secure 4 or 5 points, Stallions can make it in, right? You still have Lakewood Fire that have 4 games left, so they need a little help from the Demon Dogs and the Thunder. But we still have potential movement here towards the end here before the season wraps up. But I mean, the pro division here is solid. We have some, like I said, the names are there, the skills there, the score lines are there, goaltending's there. So if you're still paying attention to PIHA Pro, tune into some of these games because these games matter. And I feel like they're going to get pretty physical because some of these teams don't want to lose their playoff spot. All right. So, but the ultimate goal here for all these divisions, minor, semi-pro, and pro, is ultimately making it to Xfinity Sports Arena in Colorado Springs, Colorado on March 28th through March 30th. That's the goal. Win your division, make it to Colorado Springs. So that's your weekly update this time. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.